Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been quite a while. I've been a little MIA for the last couple of months, and I do have a reason for that. I think sometime in October I've been feeling a little bit unmotivated to kind of create for sharing, create for YouTube, create to like intentionally post on Instagram and stuff like that. And so I decided just to go with the flow, and if I wanted to create, I'll create something, and if I didn't, I wasn't going to. And so I've been going through a lot of stuff lately emotionally, and just I haven't had the energy or the capacity to show up like I normally do. And so I decided to take a break. I decided to give myself a little bit of grace and just take a break and come back to it when I feel is the right time to come back to it. And right now, I'm still like not 100% coming back, but I did have this video. It was a video that I was going to share as like a little extra bonus for my patrons, and I never finished it. So I decided to finish it now and share it with you here on the channel. And so, yeah, I've been making monthly videos for my patrons. I have a little membership going on my website. So it's basically Patreon, but not on Patreon because I don't like the platform Patreon. So I decided to do it on my website, and it's just where I've been sharing a free printable each month. And then with that printable, there's usually a theme for the month, and the Journal with Me videos usually end up around that theme. Lately, the theme has been all about my unraveling process and like different things that I do in my unraveling journal, and I've actually really enjoyed sharing that because I don't think I really shared much of like what I journal in my unraveling journal on my channel, but I've been doing that on my little Patreon site on my website, and it's been really nice. And so this was supposed to be for December. December was all about how I start off an unraveling journal, and it was more focused on finding your word, your guiding phrase for the year. And so I kind of went in depth on my process on how I do that and how I create my little tags that I do my journaling for each of my words, because I always have one word and then I have supporting words. So the little collage tags are that part of that, and that's all found on my little patron membership site, which I will leave a link down below if you're interested in joining me over there. But this was me creating my little intro page and my stats page. And so usually for an unraveling journal, or actually for every single one of my journals, I create a stats page, which is basically my current statistics. And so it's usually a current photo of me or a recent photo of me, and my name, my current age, and my current state of being. It can be anything. Like I think one time I wrote hot mess. It can be whatever you currently feel. And then usually alongside that, I write an introduction either to my journal or to whatever the intention of the journal is. And so for my unraveling journals, I tend to introduce my word for the year and just kind of write a little bit of what I intend for it for the year. And so I'm basically setting an intention. And so for this one, I initially was going to use the second half of my 2021 unraveling journal because I didn't fill it all up. I had a second signature. I was going to use that second signature for 2022, but once I finished this process here, I actually ended up taking that second signature out of this journal and binding it into a completely different journal that I'm going to use more as an everyday journal. And so I've been keeping these little A6 everyday journals where it's just a catch-all. Sometimes it's an art journaling page, sometimes it's like straight up just writing out like my feelings and thoughts and stuff like that, and then sometimes it's a little more of memory keeping where I add photos and some scrapbooking things. It's just a catch-all, and I've really enjoyed that process of keeping a journal this way. And so I noticed this year that I was reaching for my little everyday journals instead of doing the unraveling process in my unraveling journal. And so I've kind of mixed it up. And so I think for next year, I'm going to just kind of mix it all up. Like my unfurling process is going to be in my everyday journals instead of in a separate unraveling journal. I am going to keep an unraveling journal, but it's mostly going to be kind of like a place where I capture notes. So some sort of like a commonplace book, but all about my kind of personal growth journey. And that one I probably won't share too much of it. I might share like when I finish making it and like things here or there, but I feel like that one is going to be just kind of where I can do a lot of healing, because I've realized that there are some things that I am still dealing with from when my dad passed away that I haven't actually healed from. And it's all just kind of coming to the surface. And it's just, I have to do a lot of healing, I have to do a lot of therapy. And I feel like that journal is going to be for that. So I decided to move this over into a complete separate journal. And so this is just going to be basically the intro to that journal. And so, like I said, I just make my little stats page. And so for this one, for the signature, I actually made like that front page into a pocket. So it's like a side pocket. And I used for the side pocket that beautiful, I believe it's like an envelope printable from Nazi from Amity Bloom. And so I kind of made it into a little pocket. And so here I just kind of took a piece of, I think it was a piece of watercolor paper, and I kind of made a little insert for the pocket. And so the little tab is the only thing I think that's going to stick out from the side, but on the front, that's where I'm doing my stats. And so I used like a recent photo. I haven't actually been taking photos of myself, but I'm going to start doing that because I kind of revamped my A Gentle Unfurling Instagram account, and I kind of want to continue to explore those kind of creative self-portraits. And so this was the recent photo of myself, and I'm just creating my little stats page. And then on the back of this card, I am going to journal about my one little word for the year and just my intention. And so I don't think I shared it yet, but my one little word for 2022 is going to be becoming. It was actually a supporting word for my 2021 A Gentle Unfurling phrase. And I'm still going to keep the A Gentle Unfurling phrase because I feel like it's kind of become this overarching theme to every single one of my years. It's just, it's basically advocating for the unfurling process, the unraveling process. And the gentle bit is so like on point for me because I never actually stick with my words for each year. I notice that I kind of fall off the wayside a little bit a lot of the times, and that's fine. I'm gently going into this process of unraveling, right? And so I'm definitely sticking with that. It's definitely going to be a fixture, I think, for my life. Like so much so that I kind of want to get a piece of jewelry that says "A Gentle Unfurling" on it. And so I'm still keeping that. That's still going to be the phrase for my year or my season of life that I'm in. But my word is definitely going to be becoming, and only because I really liked the definition of it. And so it's defined as beginning to be. And I don't know if you all know this about me, but I am a type 4 Enneagram, and I think it's largely due to my type 4 Enneagram, but I've always felt like I didn't belong anywhere, and I still feel that way, that I don't really truly belong anywhere. When people, there are a lot of people who can define themselves with like a word or two or whatever, and I can define myself by a word, but like it's going to be like many different words, and a lot of the times those words are going to contradict themselves because that's just the type of person I am. And so I never felt like I really belonged or had some sort of identity, and I've always been in search of, who I am and like where I truly belong. And I think that's just an aspect of my personality. That's what it seems like to me. So the phrase beginning to be really resonated with me, and I'm taking it as like my opportunity to create myself. So I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to find myself. Yeah, I don't think we find ourselves. I think we have to ultimately create the self that we want to be, right? And so I'm going to take this year as that, as just creating the person that I want to become. And so beginning to be or becoming is going to be my word. So that's just a little bit of my word. And you see here on the back, I'm just going to put some grid paper back here, and I'm going to actually journal that. I'm going to journal about my word, about why I chose it, what it means to me, and like my intentions for it for the year. And so it's kind of like I'm setting an intention for the journal. I'm setting intention for the process. And so that's what I end up journaling here off camera. And so I just kind of wanted to come on and say hello and just share this little process with you and just kind of let you know where I've been, what I've been up to. And yeah, I really hope at some point that I can come back and share some more awesome things. I know a lot of you really like and miss my journaling videos and stuff like that, but right now I don't really have it in me to do so. And so, yeah, I just want to thank you all for being with me here today. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.